Here we go. He's an actor. He's a musician. You may know him as Jigsaw. You may know him as Prince. You may know him as Prince Caspian. You may know him as the Darkling. But I want you guys to give him a super warm and hard and loud round of applause. Make some noise for the legendary one and only Mr. Ben Boyd!
Hey guys, how are we all?
Yes, Ben. How you
What's
doing,
up, brother?
You're right. So we're gonna sit down and have a little talk before we go into the
Look at this
Q&A.
catwalk. I feel like I should be strutting down the catwalk. I'm not gonna.
So I'm just gonna ask you a couple of questions before we move into the Q&A.
Sounds good.
Ben, you were born in London, right?
I was born in England, yeah.
In England, but not in London?
In London.
Oh.
I grew up in London.
You grew up in London, okay.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little something about your early life, what it was like and how you got into acting?
I grew up loving music, and I would sing in different like choirs and bands and stuff. And then when I was about 14, somebody came to my school and was doing like theatre stuff, and he was like, "Oh, you could use the singing to be in shows." And I kind of did that with a company, and I made all these different types of friends than I'd ever had before. And yeah, that's how I got into it. And then the music kind of fell away for a bit, and I just fell in love with like storytelling. And I mean, I never thought I would be in a movie, you know.
You never thought that?
No.
So wait a minute, let me get this straight. You started out as a musician, and that's how you kind of found out about that you
that I was like singing jazz at school and stuff like that, and then it kind of took me into the acting stuff.
That's cool. And if you guys know his music, he just put out a song, a remake of Sledgehammer by the great Peter Gabriel, and it's great. So check that out too. So I just wanted to mention this film. There's somebody in the audience that loves it as well. Killing Bono. I was really, yeah, there are fans right there. I love it.
You're the people who watch that film. You too.
But what was it like for you, the era and just the staging and just the sets and the whole story? I loved it. Like,
yeah, I mean, I just love like soul music, rock music, and I was looking to do some comedy at that time. I just done the third Narnia movie, and I was like, I just wanted to do something different, and this was like music and comedy in one thing. So for me, that was kind of irresistible.
Cool, man. I love that film. Go check it out. He did the soundtrack as well, right?
Yeah.
Okay, one more thing I gotta mention that I personally loved as well. Guillermo del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities.
Yeah.
You were in the Pigment's Model episode.
Yeah.
That was did anybody see that show? You guys like that? All right.
6 of them.
But that was some pretty scary stuff.
Same ones, they're the same ones.
I mean,
and that lady. Yeah.
Had some practical effects, I guess, and it was pretty scary stuff. What was it like to work with him?
Do you know what, he just produced that episode, so he designed a lot of the monsters and stuff, but he wasn't actually on set for the story. But it's a story a little bit like, did anyone see Dorian Gray, the movie Dorian Gray? So this is quite similar. It was like, I was supposed to be very scared of these paintings, and then when you watch it, it's kind of scary, and the paintings are moving, and there's music and everything, but when you're actually on set, you're just standing there looking at a painting, and it's nothing scary at all. So the director, I was like, just try and scare me during the scenes, try and scare me. And so he would get these like blocks of wood and like slap them together like that, like during the takes, to make me kind of go like that, like feel scared and stuff. Because I was, faking being scared is kind of a tough call.
Right? Yeah, I can imagine. But I love that show, and the way you did that was amazing. So yeah, another show you're on is The Punisher. Anybody seen that? Billy?
Yes, more.
Jigsaw. And so yeah, Ben, we spoke about it a bit backstage, but what is it like to be a part of that whole Marvel legacy now? Is that like does it mean anything to you, or?
Yeah, I'm a big Marvel fan. I've got a game on my phone called Marvel Snap. Does anyone play that game? The same two people.
Die-hard fans.
I don't know why I'm obsessed with this game. Yeah, I'm a big Marvel fan. I used to have these Marvel Top Trumps when I was a kid. Another card game, and so yeah, just to be in the MCU in kind of any small way is pretty cool. But I didn't know a huge amount about the Punisher when I got that job. Though. I mean, I knew the character, but I didn't really know much about Jigsaw or anything like that. So, but it was good because it meant that we could kind of reinvent the character to be psychologically a bit more broken, which I think made him a scarier villain than just he's upset because he's not, because he's got some scars on his face. It wasn't kind of.
But was it a lot of preparation mentally because of his complex character in a sense?
I think it was more like, I've talked about this before, but kind of, I think everyone has every type of emotion inside of them, right? We've all felt loving, we've all felt furious, we've all felt all of those things. And for me, I was a bit intimidated by playing someone who was so broken and rageful. And I was like, what's my version of angry and raging? What does that look like? Because when you're standing opposite like John Bernthal, who plays the Punisher, he's like a big, scary guy. So I was like, what does my version of that feel like? Because some people are comfortable looking you in the eyes and telling you I love you, and some people are more comfortable screaming and shouting and throwing a chair. And I'm more comfortable loving than I am, screaming. So it was kind of interesting to feel like I could tap into that part of myself. So I think it was more about overcoming that factor of intimidation.
So that's somewhat of a psychologically challenging role to play.
Yeah, of course. I think anything that's like far away from yourself, you have to like put yourself into into that mindset.
Thanks. And also, you were in 2 films, Stardust and A Big Wedding.
One of those is a good film.
With Robert De Niro. Can you tell the audience something about what it's like to work with him?
I mean, he's incredible. I was actually just talking with Danny Trejo backstage. He worked with De Niro as well, and we were just swapping stories about like how he's a legend, but he's still like excited to be directed and excited to like try different things and ask you like, how do you think the scene should be? So he's a pretty magnificent guy to work with. When I rapped, he was like, you want to come into my trailer and have a martini? I was like, yeah, sure. And I broke the martini glass.
Oh, wow.
Like.
And then? How did you feel about that?
And then he was like, you want another one? I was like, yeah, sure.
De Niro, man. Yeah, I mean, he's such a craftsman. Obviously super.
Yeah, he's amazing.
The Big Wedding.
It's not a good film, but there are some really lovely moments in it, and there's a really touching scene where he gives me a present of this acorn to build this tree, to like plant it as a tree, and it's a really like touching little scene.
And Robin Williams, did you have any?
Robin Williams is probably my favorite actor of all time. He's done such extraordinary different types of roles, but Good Will Hunting is probably one of my favorite films, and his sort of speeches that he gives as to Matt Damon. Everyone seen Good Will Hunting, that movie? He has the most beautiful speech in it about, after his wife has passed away, about how it's the little things about someone that you miss. The little things that only you knew about, like laughing when someone farts, yeah, it's pretty extraordinary when a piece of art like can touch everybody in the same way.
But he seems to be one of those guys that's up there with. I mean, he's one of the greats.
He's prolific. Yeah, he's one of the funniest man never to live, but also such a sensitive soul too.
Amazing, thanks for sharing that. Okay, so we're gonna move into one of the movies that I know a lot of people love out here, The Chronicles of Narnia. So,
That's better.
right off the bat, is there a
They didn't see the big wedding. They didn't see it.
Is there some Prince Caspian story that you never really told, or something that happened during filming those sequences that you want to share with the audience, or the craziest thing that ever happened to you while in character?
I mean, I think one of the things that I was like proudest of ever was I hadn't really ever ridden horses before that movie, but I told the producers that I knew how to ride a horse. So when I got there, they would give me these intensive horse riding lessons, and the producers came to watch me riding these horses in the first week. And this American producer, who's like quite a famous producer, he goes, "Yeah, great. It looks like the horse is riding you." And I was like, but then about 4 weeks later, I worked really hard. About 4 weeks later, we had a scene where, at the beginning, where I'm like riding the horse through the forest and then through the river. And the horse got across the river, and then the horse fell over in the river. And I was still on the horse, like holding on. And I was honestly like terrified. I thought my leg was going to be broken under the horse. I didn't know. I honestly had no idea what was going to happen. And then the horse just stood up, but I was holding on so tight, I was still on it. And all the stuntmen were just like clapping. They were like, "How did you do that?" I was like, "I don't know, I just hung on."
Nice one. And so you said earlier that you never really expected to be in a movie even. And I think I heard somewhere in some interview you said you never expected to be cast as Prince Caspian for the Narnia movie. Like that was really somewhat of a surprise to you. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, I think you never expect to be cast in any kind of huge movie. I mean, I'd done Stardust, but I'd only really done theatre and plays until that point. So the idea of being cast in a huge movie was just not. It was a surprise. Even though I'd been acting for a while, it was as surprising to me as it would be any of you guys being like, "Wait, I'm the lead of a movie." It just, it wasn't something I'd been sort of toiling towards for a long time. It wasn't like this. I didn't have that kind of self-belief. I think there's very few people who do, like, "Yeah, I'm going to be the next big movie star." Like, it's not part of who I am.
Right. I got you. That's great, though. I love the humble attitude and everything. But your artistry is so amazing, and I personally admire how you stay true to your kind of like Ben Barnesism, and you were still Prince Caspian, and then you're Jigsaw. But as far as the Narnia films, how did that change your life? How did that impact your career once you were Prince Caspian? Because obviously people love it.
Yeah, well, it was a bit of a weird time right after the movie came out. It was quite quiet for me for like 6 months after Prince Caspian came out. I did this crazy press tour around the whole world, and I thought, "Oh wow, I'm gonna be in like all these movies," and it went very quiet, and it was a really good lesson for me in like how the industry can be uncertain of someone and something, and they don't take very many gambles on things, because I think the movie hadn't done as well as the first one. So everyone was kind of watching to see what I would do, and yeah, it was kind of a good lesson. But it did, it changed my life just on a personal level, just to show me what kind of extraordinary adventures you can have in this world, like to visit other places and meet new kinds of people and learn new skills, and I just felt like my life was taking an extraordinary turn, and it felt like that in the moment too. I think it was a really good reminder to always be there and be present and be breathing in the fresh air and walking in the sunshine, and like just, I still try and live like that. Like, these moments are precious. Hello.
Yeah, cool. And we're going to talk about the Chronicles of Narnia later when you guys can ask questions, because I want to make sure I go through everything the weekend while I'm talking to Ben. Obviously, that's amazing that you have a role like that and that impacted your career and life. But there's also another part, it's very popular, Shadow and Bone. And you are the Darkling, General Kid again. And
This is true.
So, the Black Heretic thing, that's no joke to me. That's a serious role. Like, is that something you prepare for differently, or can you tell something about how you get into that character? It's completely different from the Caspian thing.
Yeah, I think for me it was exciting because I hadn't really played any characters who were kind of high status like that before. I think Prince yes, he's a prince, but he's kind of the orphan boy who's like lost, and he's trying to find his way in the world, and he's trying to find all those things. So I guess he is the king by the third one, but I think I played a lot of those kind of scrappy protagonist characters, right. Whereas this was a guy who was a commander, and so I think I was very keen in that the very, very first scene where you meet Kirigan in a tent. It's described in the book that he tells everyone to be quiet, but he says it in he whispers it, but everyone can just pay him attention. So I thought, when we were filming that scene, I was saying to the director of that episode, like, I want to just say, quiet, like really under my breath, but then I want everyone to be quiet, because it will set up the character for the rest of the whole show. If you show that this is a man who can stand in front of a whole room of people and just go, quiet, and then they are quiet, it will show how powerful he is, and you won't need to do anything else. You don't need to watch him fight, scream, nothing. You will understand that this man is in charge. And so I think that was a moment that I was like, if we can get that right, then you'll understand. Because I think people say when you're acting, like playing status, like if you're in charge, it's actually not so much about what you do, it's about what the other people do, how they treat you.
Exactly, wow.
So it was kind of about setting that up right.
So is that kind of how you created the palpable power of a commanding force like he is?
Yeah, and also just to have patience as the character, to like not raise your voice necessarily until episode 7 or 8. That's when I start screaming when I'm in trouble. But just to be very still. I had very heavy costumes which would kind of weigh me down and make you feel like weighty, and I think just moving fluidly and gracefully and slowly and with strength through that world was. There was no other characters have that energy in the show. Like I think the Inej character is disappearing and flitting around, and Kaz has got the sort of limp, and Jesper's kind of tricksy, and I think that was my job, was to bring a bit more of a bit more sort of strength and depth and gravitas.
Nice. Okay, so before we go into the Q&As, because I know you guys can't wait, one more question.
They better be good, guys, these questions.
I got a lot more questions though. If you don't have any questions, I'll keep talking. But
no, that's some good.
They got some good questions. One more thing. Are you working? The Critic, that's not out yet, right?
The Critic is not yet out, but it's a small British movie that I did with Sir Ian McKellen, who is Ian McKellen is one of. I've been so lucky in my life. I got to work with Jeff Bridges and Colin Firth and De Niro and Diane Keaton and Susan Sarandon and all these amazing actors in my life, but Robin Williams, like we said, but Ian McKellen is something really special. I'm glad you told us about that, because I wanted to know, but he's amazing in this movie, I think. I don't know.
It's in post-production now?
I haven't seen it, but...
It's in post-production now?
Yeah, I just have a small role.
Okay. Well, we're looking forward to that as well. So we're going to the Q&A right now. Please state your question clearly, and Ben will answer.
Hello.
Hi.
What's your name?
Amina.
Say hi, Amina. There we go.
I was wondering if you could sing something for us.
I'll tell you what, I'm not going to sing anything now, but I'm going to try and come back and maybe do a concert in Amsterdam this year sometime. I'm working on it, I promise. I'm trying to find somewhere to come and sing this year.
Nice. So the next question.
Thank you.
Hi.
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 I was wondering, not wondering, maybe you could walk down
Catwalk?
The catwalk, yes, like a cover girl. Could you do that?
What?
No. But you can.
Hey. Hoe heet je? Hoe heet je? Oké, dit wordt leuk. Hoi hoi. What's your name?
Hope. Hope. Ladies and gentlemen, Hope.
Make some noise for Hope, everybody!
You want to go? Come on, I can bring you down.
That's a real gentleman. Make some noise for Hope and Ben Barnes, y'all. Then we go to the next question. Who's next up? Let's go. Yes.
Hi.
No asking me to do things, just ask me questions.
Right?
No, I have a question.
Great.
What do you like more, singing or acting?
Ooh, that's a good question because I kind of see them honestly like it's the same thing because they're telling stories. But I will say that having been doing the acting for 20 years and I'm telling other people's stories, to like finally be in a position to be making something from nothing feels really wonderful to me. To like, I have a blank piece of paper or an empty voice note on my phone and I make something out of nothing. And that feels amazing, and I'm sure most of you are probably far more talented than me and you're like drawings and all these things and you're not afraid of that blank piece of paper, but I think I was. So it took me till my 30s, you know, late 30s to be making something, and I'm sort of proud of myself for that. Even if no one listens to it, at least I made something. And so make things, make things.
And you guys hear that? Please don't be insecure about what you want to do, just do it.
Even if it's, you know, if it's a poem, if it's a drawing, if it's a recipe for food that you cook for your friends, like create a board game, like whatever the thing is, your thing is that makes you happy, make things in the world because people will love you for it.
Thank you.
Great question and a great answer. Thanks. Next question.
Hi.
I had a question. Which book of the Shadow and Bone series do you like the most?
Oh, that's a good question. I think probably Six of Crows is my favorite book. I love that duology, and I love Crooked Kingdom, but Six of Crows with the storming of the Ice Court and everything. And I had a meet and greet earlier and we were talking about, I love those three relationships. I love the careful dance of the Kaz and Inej in the relationship. I love the romance of Nina and Matthias, and I love the sassy fun of Jesper and Wyland. And there, you know, these three very different relationships within the same story, dancing around each other, and I think that's for me the best book.
Thank you.
Nice one. Volgende vraag. Hi.
Hi. Sorry. If you were to play any character in any movie, who would you like to play?
Wow. Any character in
any movie. Sirius Black. Joe, I'm a massive Potterhead. I do love Harry Potter very much, and I'm excited to see what they do with the new show. But any character ever, I mean, I think as a British kid, it's hard to get away from hello. You know, when I was a kid, it was like that whole James Bond, you know, thing. I think, you know, when I was a kid, I wanted to be James Bond, I wanted to be Batman, I wanted to be those things. But I would just settle for a nice sweet rom-com at this point, you know. I think, I want to do everything though, I'm too excited. I want to do a musical, I want to do an action film, I want to play Marines, I want to play everything. I just want to play. I'm a child, basically, so I just want to play. you know, I try not to dream in that way because I like to be realistic about like what things are being offered to me. But yeah, I mean, it would still be cool to be Batman, wouldn't it?
Hey, Ben Barnes is Batman, anybody? I think that's...
You like that?
Yeah. Okay, next question, hi.
Look at those ears.
Yes. I was wondering if, of anything you have ever done when you show a movie, if you and all your castmates have ever read fan fiction about your characters.
Ooh, I'm not sure I've really read any fan fiction. I mean, I know it exists. There's you know, I know there are sort of different end games that people like to write about, but I've never actually read any. I've never actually read any stories myself. No, have you?
Yes, every day.
What do you read? What fan fiction do you read?
I read a lot of hurt comfort because I think that the comfort is always better if someone gets hurt before that. So
That is twisted. I need to have a word with your. I need to have a word with your mother.
she's not here sadly. So
Oh, never mind. Thank you for your question.
Oké, dan volgende vraag. Hi.
Hi, my question is, what was your favorite scene to film in Shadow and Bone Season 2?
Oh, in season 2. Well, I loved shooting. I honestly, even though it was the hottest place on earth, I really enjoyed shooting the kind of finale sequence in the desert because everyone was together. And I had shot basically 6 months almost by myself, you know, like just with a couple of characters. So I was separate from everybody because, you know, villains are sad, which is another reason I don't want to play any more villains. Because I missed everybody too much. But I really enjoyed the scenes like in the lair with Zoe Wanamaker, who plays Bakra. I really enjoyed doing the scenes with her, like where I had your mother prisoner. Like that's always fun stuff to play. And obviously the flashback stuff with Jessie, who plays Alina, like felt very like it felt kind of nostalgic, you know. And also I didn't have to put on scars those days, which was great.
Thank you.
Great answers, great questions. Hoi.
So about Sirius Black, you are fan casted as a young Sirius Black.
Yes,
And there is-
except that I'm just actually Sirius Black's age now. I can't be young him anymore.
And there's this really popular ship in the Marauders fandom called Wolfstar,
What?
who are Sirius Black and Remus Lupin. And I was wondering if you think they would make a great couple.
It's called what, did you say?
Wolfstar.
Wolf Star?
Yeah, Star for
What is that?
Sirius and
Oh.
Wolf for Remus Lupin.
Oh, I see. And that's a ship.
Yeah, it's really popular.
Is that fan fiction ship though?
Maybe.
Because no, that's not like in the actual lore.
No, it's
No.
not, but it's really popular.
Well, I mean, hey, if they write it, it sounds good to me. Does it sound good to you?
Yes, it
Well,
does.
okay, Wolf Star. I got it.
Nice one. Hi.
hi.
Hey, how you doing?
Wondering if we could give you a waffle on courtesy of Nina and Dinesh.
Sorry,
Could we give you a waffle on courtesy of Nina and Dinesh?
you can give me a waffle. I'll eat a waffle.
You want...
Yeah, come on, bring me a waffle. In fact, everyone bring me a waffle.
what kind of waffle is it?
Oh, thank
Stone
you.
waffles.
That looks delicious.
I guess.
It says, sorry you died. Thank you very much. Nice to meet you. Thank you.
Dankjewel. Heel
Great,
cool.
so I got you a waffle.
Thanks, man. Next question. Hey.
Hi.
Hi.
I heard you are a Formula One fan.
I do like Formula One. I love the Drive to Survive Netflix show. It got me hooked.
Yeah, so no pressure, but you are in the Netherlands. But you can answer honestly.
No,
Who
don't
is your
ask me
favorite
here because
driver?
that's not who you want it to be. It's boring when the same person keeps winning every time. I got lots of favourite drivers, to be honest. Obviously, growing up in the UK, Lewis Hamilton obviously is amazing. You know, just what he's kind of overcome to be like world champion 8 times? 7. I knew it was between 6 and 8. I couldn't remember the number that comes in between those two. Obviously, British Lando Norris as well is so sweet. And but I love a lot of those. I love a lot of the drivers, and I just want it to be exciting, and I don't want the same person to keep winning over and over again.
I totally agree.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Goeie vraag.
He is amazing, though.
Yeah, definitely.
He who shall not be named.
Hi.
My question is, what is your favorite little moment in life? Like watching the sunset, or the stars, or...
That's the sweetest question anyone's ever asked me.
Thank you.
Well, I'm very rarely up early enough for a sunrise, but I do think they're kind of special when you're up in time for one, but I'm not that guy. I'm very lucky where I live in Los Angeles. I get really lovely sunsets. So I'm a big fan of that. I'm a big fan of looking at ocean waves. Actually, there was this extraordinary thing that happened during the pandemic. They had these electric blue waves on the west coast of America. I can't remember what they were called, but I went down and everyone was on the beach because you couldn't really go anywhere else in the pub. It was outside. So everyone went to the beach, and at night they had these like electric blue, looked like lightning in the waves. It was one of the most amazing things I've ever seen ever. So that was pretty precious. Also seeing my mum when I haven't seen her in a long time, that's one of them.
Nice. That's really a sweet question and a great answer as well. Love that. It's cool, right?
Yeah, it was a lovely question. What's your answer? Wait, come back.
We're gonna switch to Q&A.
What was your answer?
I really like to watch the sky when it looks like a painting, with all the colors and the clouds and the little stars.
God, you Dutch are very poetic, aren't you? Thank you.
Dankjewel. Hi.
Hi.
How was it to play in Narnia?
Oh, I had a lovely time, thank you. I mean, I kind of answered that earlier, like it was just one of the most extraordinary experiences of my life, kind of. You know, I read those books when I was 8 years old. I still have my copy from when I was 8, and so to kind of imagine being that, like, on that scale with those amazing costumes and with all of those people, and Anna Popplewell, who plays Susan, is still my best friend in the world. So, yeah, it was extraordinary.
Just gonna give her this. She's a bit emotional because of she's speaking to you right now. So you can take a little gift. That was a cool question.
Wait, come and give me a hug.
Yeah, give Ben a hug. Come on. That was the sweetest hug. Alles okay verder daar? Cool. Thanks, man.
I'm too old to keep getting up and down on that stage. I need to put a step there.
That was real cool of you, Ben.
Oh, she's sat with Spider-Man now. She's fine. Spider-Man will look after you. Not Spider-Man.
Hi.
Gwen Stacy. What's that character called? I just watched the Spider-Verse movie. What? Venom. Are you being Venom? Who are you being?
Maybe she doesn't know. It's just a cool shirt.
What character are you being? She's not answering me. She's too shy.
So we got about 10 minutes left. So let's continue.
Kaz Brecker.
Yes. So I wanted to ask you a question about books. Have you read any good books recently, or do you have a favorite book in general?
I'm reading a lot. I don't know what it is, but because I've done all these fantasy movies based on these books, like the Narnia, obviously, but Seventh Son, that was a whole series. and obviously Shadow and Bone, and all of these, and I've obviously done like gothic horror like Dorian Gray, and lots of other things based on books and plays and literature. But I never really thought that I was a big fantasy person necessarily, but it turns out that is all I read now. Like for fun, all I read is fantasy books. So I'm reading two at the moment. I'm reading the Name of the Wind, the Patrick Rothfuss book, they're amazing. Yeah, that guy has read them. The guy with the magnificent beard has read them, yes. I don't know why, I just take away that, and then I just started reading something called Babel, which is like, oh, okay, so we like that one. It's like a fantasy, but it's about language, which appeals to me a lot, which is a good one if you like Name of the Wind. They're kind of similar in a weird way. So yeah, those are I'm literally reading those two books right now. I don't know why I'm reading two books that are the same, that are like similar, but there you go.
Always did it too, so
yeah, you get into a rhythm.
yeah.
Nice one.
Thank you.
Volgende vraag, hoi.
Hi, I had a question.
Hi.
I was wondering, what is your favorite nickname and what is the story behind it?
My favorite nickname for me?
Yes.
I don't know, people give me silly nicknames. I don't know why on the internet people call me bin bongs, which is so strange. And it sounds like a sort of children's character or something, which I think is...
Say that again, what nickname?
Bin bongs.
Bin bongs?
It just sounds like I don't know.
What does it mean?
I think it's just my name said very fast, I don't know. My favourite nickname was Jeff Bridges, who I did Seventh Son with, who is one of the greatest. Did you know who Jeff Bridges is? Yeah, it's three of you. Okay, well, get educated, because he's one of the best actors of all, Oscar winner, incredible actor. The Big Lebowski, have you seen The Big Lebowski?
Come on.
No, 7 of you have seen that. You've seen it.
Go check
out Jeff Bridges, Fabulous Baker Boys, the Big Lebowski, Tron. I mean, he's amazing.
Yeah.
True Grit. Anyway. I did a fantasy movie with him called Seventh Son, which is kind of, you know, one of those big fantasy epic sort of stories. And that guy saw it. Thank you, bro. Anyway, he used to call me. He was like, "Is your name Benjamin?" I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Well, what's up, B-Jammin'?" And then he would be like, "Jammin'," like when I would go in the morning, and I was like, "Jammin'," that I like, because it's like jamming like music.
For real?
Like playing music with your friends is jamming. So he was like, "What's up, Jammin'?" And then he used to bring his guitar in, and we used to sing in the tent together. Anyway,
so wait a minute. The legendary Jeff Bridges nickname for Ben Barnes is Jammin'.
B Jammin'.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool.
B Jammin'.
Okay, just jamming. I think he just said jamming. Yeah, he draws cartoons. He used to draw little cartoons on napkins and stuff. He's amazing, and he's like had cancer recently, and so I know he's doing a little better at the moment. But all the love out to Jeff Bridges.
Definitely.
Keep him in your thoughts and prayers.
Fantastic answer. Thanks. We got to move on. We got 4 minutes left.
Okay,
so
quick fire. Yes,
let's try to do a lot of questions.
7.
Hi. So I had a different question. I wanted also to ask about Star, but now I will just ask a Harry Potter question.
Okay.
So if you could choose one of the Deathly Hallows, which one would you choose?
Oh, wait. So Cloak of Invisibility, Eternity Stone.
Yeah, there's the stone,
the wand,
Shatter, and the wand. Yeah, the stone, the cloak, and.
What would you pick?
I'm not sure. I think the cloak is really cool because you can hide.
Yeah, the cloak is good, but it doesn't really help you achieve anything in life. What does the stone do? Brings back people from the dead.
Yes.
I think people are supposed to be left there for a bit. I don't know. I feel like that's messing with the dark side. And the wand just makes you really powerful.
Yes. And that's also very dangerous.
That's also dangerous.
Yeah.
So the cloak is the safest, so let's go with the cloak. It can't hurt anybody with the cloak. You just, you know.
Okay. Thank you.
Mischief managed.
Yes.
Bosh.
Thanks. Volgende vraag, hoi.
I didn't mean it. Yeah.
Hi.
Do you prefer playing a hero like Prince Caspian or a villain like the Darkling?
I want to play a new character that's like a grown-up, but like a hero, not a villain. I think I'm done playing bad guys. I've played a few bad guys in a row, and I want to be the guy that you're rooting for. So I think it's time for a change. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Volgende vraag. Nog 2 of 3 vragen, dan zijn we echt helaas klaar. Let's go.
Hi. What's your opinion on a possible season 3 of Shadow and Bones?
I'm for it, but I would be for it, but I also think they should do Six of Crows. I just think the stories are so good that that's what I want to watch, and I know I'm not in it, which will make you all very, very sad. Very, very sad. Thank you. But that's what I want to watch, and I can, do something else.
Thanks. Final 2 questions. Hi.
Hi. I have a little music-related question for you.
Yes.
Did you watch Eurovision? And if yes, what was your favorite act?
Do you know, I didn't watch it. I've never really been into Eurovision. I know that's a sad answer that you're not really hoping for, but it's not. Yeah, it's never been my favorite thing.
It's okay.
Thanks. Laatste vraag, last question. Hi.
Hi. You have said you're like Marvel and MCU. Is there an actor or an actress you would like to work with from the Marvel?
Is there an actor from the Marvel universe?
No.
Oh, that's good. I mean, Robert Downey Jr. obviously amazing.
Yes, sir.
Scarlett Johansson. She's incredible. She gives one of my favorite performances of all time in a movie that you don't even see her in, which is that movie Her, which I love that movie. Who else? I mean, there were so many people. I had the amazing privilege when I was training for the movie Seventh Son, because I had a lot of stunts and stuff, and they wanted me to be like a little bit I was training in the Warner Brothers gym every day with the Warner Brothers trainer. And after me, every single day for about 8 weeks or something, Chadwick Boseman was training for Black Panther. So, yeah, that was a really amazing thing. You could tell, like, just how special he'd just done that movie 42. Oh no, he was training for 42, I think. Not for Black Panther, for the baseball movie, 42. But he was extraordinary.
Thanks a lot, Ben. Thank you. So we're going to end this right now, but not before we get a little final video with everybody in it. Okay? So Ben, we're going to do it like this. Hold on. Dutch Comic Con. I'm right here with the one and only Mr. Ben Boom. So make some noise.
Thank you so much for having me. Stay up. Thank you.
Thanks, Ben. Laat je nog één